Hello everyone and welcome to my Twitch stream. I'm setting up my desk and the room lights now. For those who don't know me, hi, I'm Josh. I'm a full-time independent open source maintainer in the typescript-eslint general ecosystem. This is my regular twice a week coding stream on Twitch and uploaded to YouTube later. Pretty low effort here, as you can see from the everything, but I post on the internet every time I do stuff, so figured I'd start out today with typescript-eslint. So typescript-eslint is the main project that I work on, and it's the tooling that lets you run eslint and prettier and similar on TypeScript code. Let's switch to dark mode. My eyes will hurt if I have all this stream stuff set up in light mode. So I'm going to go through, we have kind of a larger than I prefer pull request backlog. So just getting through some issues, trying to merge stuff in. Goal here is I want to try to get people quick responses on their pull requests. I don't want to leave them pending for too long. So, not a huge fan of this lighting setup. Let me switch back to my old purple. There you go. There we go. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so first thing I'm going to look through is that's not how you spell dependencies. Going to look through dependencies, just see which PRs we can quickly merge from these, just to get the list small. By the way, if anyone has any questions or things to talk about, please bring them up. Always happy to chat. But I see there's some passing ones. Updating dev dependency swc/jest. This is a pretty straightforward approval. I'm going to try to remember to post everything on the chat. Let me know if I missed something. Nander, you welcome to the mentality of reporting typos. Very exciting. Yeah, it's incredible. Typos are everywhere in open source. There's every project has a few. Dude. Also, hi, how's it going? Just first. Boop, boop, boop. Ready? Fresh. SWC core. Looks good. Boop, boop, boop. I am doing well. We just went grocery shopping. We're having beef Wellington for dinner. I'm not going to post all these PRs from dependency updates. It's not really the most interesting thing for people to look at. I haven't made beef Wellington ever, so I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to be making it. I think I might just come down and it'll be made. We'll see how it goes. But all right, we got a conflict here for this prettier PR. We also have two prettier PRs, so I'm not going to touch that for now. But short update Babel 7239, just a bunch of Babel updates for this one because it touches building. Just going to make sure the website still looks good and functions. Actually, no, I'm just going to make sure the playground looks good. Yep. All is well. Babel looks ready to merge. And already we've merged a few. Very pleasing. Update NX to, oh boy, we got some build failures. Still running, I'll let that finish. All right, update dependency lint stage to 15.20. Style shit, how's it going? Good to see you. What is failing? Okay, so some unit tests are failing for eslint plugin. Interesting. Logs have expired and are no longer available. So that's great. One of the problems or things to look out for when you have automatic dependency updates with a tool like Renovates, which we use, or Dependabot or similar, is that if you have any build failures on your main branch, then your dependency PRs can't get the green check, it can't auto merge or whatever. So you end up in a situation where whenever there's a failure on main or instability, you get a bunch of red X's. So I'm just going to go ahead and check or click the update branch button for all of these, because it looks like, yeah, this one also has a couple of unit test failures and they're the same ones, which makes me think this is just Flake. All right. Monaco editor. Yeah, there's no reason why Monaco editor, that's the library we use for the playground on the website, should break ESLint plugin. All right. So that's fun. Anyway, the really interesting stuff is not the dependencies, not the stuff that I've sent that needs to be reviewed from other people, and not the drafts. Ooh, that's a good idea. GitHub action to merge main into those failing PRs. I like that. That's a good idea. I like, yeah, that'd be nice. Like once main is not failing. Cool. All right, so VSCode.dev doesn't have TypeScript autocomplete. Interesting. I'm going to have to look into that later. I mean, the first one I'm really going to look at here is add support for flat configs. Actually, you know what? I reviewed this yesterday, so I actually don't need to review it now. See, we have one approval, so skipping that. Naming conventions, support auto accessor syntax. What's the most recent thing? So the person was going to respond to 2 comments, and it looks like they did. So I see Brad removed a waiting response, but we're still awaiting response in that they haven't requested a review yet. So I'm going to add back. So yeah, one of the that's going to be a sentence statement fragment that I'm going to be using a lot today. One of the sometimes people like just don't remember to press the request review button, or like the system glitches out on them. But all right, next. Oh yeah. Venable and progress aggregators disallow non-venables to progress aggregators. This one I remember now. So honestly, I haven't like actually done very much since the start of this stream, but this is blocked on 8301, which is an issue. So I'm just going to mark this as blocked on another issue, so I don't review it until we're done there. All right, here we go. This PR will be actionable. Okay, they requested a review from me. Sorry, Operate, for taking so long. Let's actually look at this. Chore unpin primary version in CI. Went through a few quick PRs that needed adjustments, and now landing one that actually does need review. Chore around the node version in CI. What's happening? Why do they want to do this? What does it mean to unpin or pin a primary node version in CI? Let's find out. Did I change my avatar background or something? I did, yeah. I changed it from a aggressive teal thingy to just like a more backgroundy kind of, to just like a more oh man, I heard myself, more blue. So like that's the old teal one. It's very flashy, which I thought was cute at the time. And now it's this one, which actually I've been using for a little while on my site. So, yay. Yeah, it's just been bugging me. It's a weird teal. Good spot though. I've been slowly going through my other social media profiles and updating. All right, so what's happening here? There was an issue filed a bit back, just about a month ago by Avrid, saying CodeCov coverage reports are no longer uploaded. So we're comparing env primary node version. So we're saying that the node version should be at least 20.6.1, but matrix.node version, I think it's an equality check. Yeah. Let me actually confirm that. Code typescript-eslint. ci.yaml matrix. Where's node version? So in a lot of places, the node version is env.primary node version. So that's an environment variable that they're referring to. But looks here like unit tests. There we go. Lines little over 150 has node version 16 and 20. All right. Thus, the coverage isn't uploaded and collected. Great. So this PR is fixing things so that we use, well, what proposed change is primary node version 20. So I propose, can we change the node version? What was I saying here? Why did I want this? Let me pin to the chat the PR link. So so what I wanted was like in the matrix use, instead of this referring to the bland general 20, have the matrix be like 16, comma, env.primary node version. Unfortunately, you can't use env context in a matrix definition in GitHub Actions for some ungodly reason, these workflows, so can't do that. Hi, Dudeman, how's it going? Been a little while. Welcome to the stream. I'm just looking through a PR. So they're saying that because we're pinning node to 20, we're getting a newer version. So we're already unpinned. So yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. This is all true. My hesitation around unpinning is that I don't like surprise node version bumps. Ideally, we'd have an exact version that gets updated over time the way Renovate bumps are versions of dependencies. But since we're already not doing that, I think this is a straightforward bug fix. Cool. So this looks good to me. So just to recap, we were previously saying node should be at least 26.1, and now the comparison is what was the fix again? What are we fixing? Oh yeah, the env.primary node version is 20. Do I prefer Dependabot or Renovate? Great question. Renovate. And the reason why is Renovate has an excellent feature called, what was it called again? It used to be called Stability Days. Now they changed it to something. Great question. There we go. Minimum release age. So it'll wait a certain number of days before giving you a PR. Now, in theory, In theory, this shouldn't be necessary from a security perspective, because in theory, all your PRs should be in isolated environments and no one should be able to do anything. But in practice, if someone releases a malicious version of a package, let's say one that includes a crypto miner, and Renovate, send, or Dependabot were to send you a PR with it, they'd still at least get some free compute out of you. So we like stability days, at least 3 or 5 or 7, depending on the project, just to make sure that the community has vetted packages a little bit more before we take them on. Otherwise, to me, they're basically equivalent. I know that they have like different competing feature sets of like grouping and ignores and all this stuff, but like for me, it's just hard block. I cannot reasonably use a auto update tool that doesn't have an equivalent to minimum release age, and to my knowledge, Dependabot doesn't. Womp womp. Same question to you in the chat, actually. Do y'all have thoughts and opinions here? Because I would love to just use whatever's built into GitHub. It is annoying to have like an external thing be what I use, but can't get around it, to my knowledge. Anyway, merging this PR, yay! I forgot to set up my floor mat there. All right. Cool, glad that one's done. I'm sure they're both fine. If you don't care about stability days, then, which honestly, the fact that a lot of people still use Dependabot without it means that it's probably fine for most. Whatever works. All right, this one has an awaiting response label I haven't been putting on recently, so I'll skip it. Feet add rule prefer find. This should be juicy. So they re-requested review from me 3 weeks ago. It's been a little while, sorry. But looks like there's actually a question thread for Brad, so I'm going to say, okay, so let's look at this question, actually. Demian, welcome. How's it going? Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I'll review the PR. It's just a small question and want to give him an answer. Nifty. That was cool. Now onto a more traditional, onto a user-facing PR for adding a new prefer find rule. All right, what's happening here? Add new rule, prefer find. What is prefer find? So this is a rule proposal of mine from April of 2023. If you have code that does like a dot filter of 0, great. I'm great. I'm glad you're doing well. You came in at a good time. I'm going to be reviewing a pull request that implements this issue. These two statements here, this result and that result, are roughly equivalent. The first one does a filter and then gets the first matching thing. The second one does a dot find. The first one is slower because it goes through the entire array to filter and then just gives you the first one. And engines have a hard time sometimes optimizing these kinds of filters because they might not know whether they're side effects. They might not know whether it's okay to skip work on all but the first found or anything after the first found. So dot find is just better code. Also, it's smaller code. Look, it's fewer things. So the reason why we would include this lint rule in typescript-eslint is because you never know whether something is actually an array or happens to have a dot filter that just so happens to look like an array. Yeah, so a little bit of discussion, people talking about, I messed up the title. So we have other rules that don't really do anything TypeScript specific, but require type checking to run. So this rule seems like something valid. Oh, someone asked a question. I have a related request. I think you should prefer, where was this comment? I think you should prefer some over either filter, oh yeah, from the other Josh. Yeah, so Sum over filter find. Yeah, I agree. That would be a different rule. All right, let's look at the PR. Yay. So I'm going to ghpr checkout 8216, get it locally. Once my VS Code terminal loads, yarn. All right. So they add a rule that prefers array.find over array.filter ... 0. And adds the corresponding autofix as suggestions, which is good. In ESLint, rules can attach fixes, like a single fix with a rule report. Those fixes are supposed to be safe. They're supposed to not change the logic of code. But rules can also provide any number of suggestions, which are things that you have to manually opt into that might not be safe. In this case, because technically the code runs differently in the fixed version, you can't have a safe fix. It has to be an unsafe suggestion. Fun stuff. All right, let's take a look. So prefer find.ts, just to refamiliarize myself with how this rule actually works. It's not too much, under 300 lines of code. You think I opened an issue in ESLint to explain this to you? Yeah, that's right, I did. Because I was constantly explaining it. People were asking for docs, and there was no docs. So it was either ESLint or eslint.org. I forget which repo I put it in. Suggestion. Yeah, here we go. Good recall. Captain Cook. Oh, shoot. I didn't shout you out on Twitter. I'm sorry. Dang it. There's always some part of the process I forget. But yeah, Captain Kirk, sorry for taking 3 weeks to get back to you. But I'm excited. This rule's looking good. So what I do when I want to refamiliarize myself with something. Also, hi, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Is I will fold all and then take a look back through, expanding as we go along. So we see the messages, the description, enforce use of array of define followed by 0 when looking for a single result. Yep, looks good. There's actually a discussion somewhere that I think I partook in, maybe even started. Oh, hey, Dev. You've been subscribed for 7 months at tier 1. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. How's it going? There's a description or issue or something somewhere talking about how you want to use a different message for your suggestion than your rule. Where is that? Suggestion message. Dev, I saw you doing something recently on Twitter. What did I see you in? Were you in like an ad or a conference interview or something? I know there was some such. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was it. Okay. Back-end banter. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I know that I left a bunch of comments on here. Oh no. I do have a question though, whether the messages themselves are okay, if they need to be more thought out. I guess I should probably make it use @ for that case, or alternatively make the wording less specific. I think it's fine in general. I do think it's a good idea to have a different message. So in the rule, I'm just going to suggest docs. I don't know how to phrasing. Use is an action verb, which we normally put in the suggestion message. Prefer is what we tend to put for the actual rule error complaints. I could have sworn there was an issue somewhere about making sure folks rules use different messages for the report versus a suggestion. Oh, you know what? Maybe so. Fun fact, actually, there is a ESLint plugin, the ESLint plugin, which is an ESLint plugin for linting ESLint plugins. Maybe this is where I missed. Aha! Found it. Got him. Yeah. So, related. Huh. You know what? That reminds me, actually. Thanks. I need to listen to more backend things. I think I saw that this happened, this podcast, and I didn't listen to it yet. That's what it is. So I'm gonna subscribe on Google Podcasts, which I know I have to switch off from, and then I will take a listen. Thanks for the tip. Okay, moving on in the rules. So looking at create, we got a bunch of utility functions I'll look at later. The way it works is a call expression. Here we go. So if we have, if we have an object, which is get object if array at expression, I think I can guess what that does, but just to be sure. So if there's only one argument, let's take a look on the playground just to make sure I'm not messing up my syntax. Go, Monaco, go. All right, so I've declare const values string values.filter value 0. All right, here we go. Dot filter. Let's look at the ES tree representation. So what I'm trying to figure out is when we look at a call expression, that's this friend here, we are looking for arguments, and we want it to be only one argument. So we only care if there's exactly one argument. I'm also curious. Values.filter. Does filter just take in the one predicate? Bug. Filter can take into this arg. Question: is there any rule regarding a dot at the end of messages? No, not that I know of. That's a great idea, actually. That always confuses me, whether and when to put punctuation in programmatic error thingies. I'm guessing, style shit, you meant these messages, like the ESLint rule messages. I definitely, I've seen ones for just regular code comments, like being prefer capitalized and stuff. I think ESLint might use that. But the lint messages, that would be a good issue for you to file in ESLint plugin, It's a good idea. Right, so immediately I have found my first request change. Sorry, just realizing this now on deeper review. It's I recommend Backend Banner. The host runs an online bootcamp / interactive learning platform. Awesome, cool. If you have any other podcast suggestions, I'm always down for them. I'm going to start doing reaching out to podcasts in a few months, probably, to try to talk about typescript-eslint v7, which I'm hoping will release this year. As a convention, what should we do in typescript-eslint for these? I believe we generally, maybe we don't have a standard. Oh no. That's a base rule. Prefer as const. Yeah, we generally use periods. Yeah, style shit. Do you want to file an issue on this one? On us to standardize? You know what? I go off and on dev with podcasts. I've recently been listening when I run and them at the gym. It's like a good way for me to get myself to do that. Both things. But yeah, I go off and on. +1. Okay. To take filter can take a second argument. Awesome. Thanks, Dalshit. This arg. So this will need to have test cases. Okay. Another thing is I'm noticing the style of logical indentation here is opposite of what I personally go for. I actually filed an issue on myself to find or create an ESLint rule for this. But there's a phrase I used to use a lot. Invert if, reduce nesting. Style. I used to use the phrase invert if, reduce nesting a lot more in PR reviews. Now I'd rather make a lint rule for it. So basically what I'm suggesting is, notice how most of this function is indented inside the if. It would be logically equivalent to invert the if to, instead of triple equal, say not equal to 1, return undefined. And then you have maybe one more line in the function, but less nesting. And then similarly, if you do like, if it's null or whatever, if we reduce this, return undefined. I personally find this easier to read. Then I might do like, I don't know. You can extrapolate. Ooh, there's a VS Code plugin for that. It'd be nice to reference that plugin or like make a shared library for ESLint rule. What do you think about returning early to avoid abracadabra refactor? This is that the plugin name? Cool. Wait, that's actually the plugin? No way. Oh my god, I love that. That's so funny. I'm trying it out. Oh my god. Okay. Huh. Cute error message. Yeah, I'll have to try that more later. Thank you. All right, continuing the review though. I mean, this looks good. So what are we looking for here? We're checking the @ argument, so the thing that's being provided to the @. Wait a second. Node.arguments here. What is node.arguments? So here, filter is this call expression with arguments, and the argument 0 is an arrow function. Wait, why are we calling this on the node? I'm confused. All right, at this point I'm confused. So I'm going to undo all the changes that I suggested, and I'm going to add a breakpoint here and then run a unit test. So that'll get me to the first test where this case gets hit. All right, callie.object. It's a call expression. Do I have access to context? .source code, get text, callie.object. Aha. Get object of array expression. Okay, so here we're checking if there is, got it. So node.arguments 0 is, wait, what is this node? Got it. So the node.argument, so this whole thing is the call, and this is the first argument. Oh, I just understood what this function does. This is looking for the .at. Oh my gosh. So noted arguments dot length should be 1 because dot at just takes in the index. Oh my god, that really got me. So this is there it is. This is not a valid comment. Okay, array add expression. Got it. All right. So this is saying if it's an object that's an array add expression. So if we're doing a dot at 0, where we're doing dot at and Kali property name. So if it's computed, got it. So we're checking if it's a dot at. All right. I feel like we should make a shared utility for this. This code here. Refactor. This code here tends to show up a lot. Give me check if this property call field property computes to or is statically a particular value. What do you think about filing an issue about? Feels like a good follow-up refactor after this PR. What do you think? We get static value works for a part of that, but only for the computed side of that. Adding a more broad helper would be okay. So not requesting changes in this PRs. Not requesting changes, just ideating. Yeah, I try to be very clear when I'm asking or not asking for changes. All right, so get object if array call expression. Let's continue debugging. So we have the object. Now we check parse if array filter expression. So it returns, oh boy, either undefined or an object with is bracket syntax for filter node. I feel like I would even consider having a lint rule for not having inline object literals the way this one does, as like return types. It feels to me like this is, I don't know. Like I'd rather have this be named. So yeah, I'm going to file an issue for that actually. I don't know that this is like a good idea, that I would want this. But I think it's probably a good idea. Ooh, style shit. Already filed an issue. Nicely done. Just now? Wait, what's the exact timing? It's 3:09. Damn, good timing. I'll get to this later though. Haha. Rule. Prefer a named interface or type over inline object literals. I have not searched for related named. What is primitive obsession? What is happening? You want it? Okay, so this is about a rule that forces you to use objects. All right, prefer type or interface. I might get some snarky results. Prefer instantiation expression. Primitive obsession is a funny phrase. I agree. Yeah, that's not it. Evaluating community engagement. One of these days, I'm going to remember consistently to go through old ones. Yep, doesn't look like there is a existing issue for this. Definitely not one in the current rule list. Otherwise, it would have failed in the PR, and I remember. All right. Sometimes folks write inline type literals to represent the returned, say, parameter, object parameter, say, to represent objects in function parameters, say, for example, and or return types. The problem with these inline object literals is that they aren't named, and two problems I see with these inline object literals. They aren't named, so TypeScript errors and refactorings aren't as good, and clutter the syntax space around the function. Type annotations. For example, function parameters, return types, function parameters, return types, variable declarations. Proposal. Let's have a rule that bans object type literals with a configurable minimum number of object properties to report on. Let's say banning object in type annotations, type literals, say banning types with greater than or equal to 2 properties by default. So like if we let my value apple boolean banana boolean, then we'd be like, let's call this my values. Does this rule make sense? Anyone? I'm not sure the exact list of syntax locations this should apply to, but type annotations feels like a good start. All right. By the way, this is why sometimes my PR reviews take forever, because I try to be really thorough with them. Because I'm full-time on this open source thing, I have the time to really go deep on things. You think you've seen this exact rule somewhere. Great. I just duplicated something. Yeah. It's also interesting because, also, this light is too bright. There you go. It's also interesting because I think, especially for React, there might be library-specific influences on how you might want to autofix or suggest a fix. Like for React, for JSX in general, I guess. Ooh, let me actually add that to the post. Whoops. I swear to God, did I not put additional info? I did, didn't I? This is a known GitHub bug with issue forms. I'm not sure what the exact list of syntax locations should be, but all type annotations feels like a good start to me. For auto fixing, I can imagine this being useful in JSX-oriented libraries such as React. If the auto fixer creates a type with a name like props, when the type annotation is the first argument of a function, that can be a JSX component. Wait, typing refactors aren't as good when you use inline types. Yeah, if the type isn't named, TypeScript can have a harder time. For example, if you want to use the move to new file or extract to helpers, it has to infer the name, which is not always doable nicely. It's not the best motivation. Like, it's not like they totally break, but like there are little nuances there that just aren't quite as good. Does that sound reasonable? Make sense? Filed a feature request issue in the meantime. While reviewing. That came up while reviewing. Maybe overly complex object literals inline is something we should lint against. I'm also not sure if this really belongs in our repo. One of the like core tenets that we try to stick to is like, don't be too opinionated. People don't like it when core repos are very opinionated in the lint world. Come on, link card. There you go. But we'll see. Okay. Back to reviewing the PR. All right. So we're in parse if array filter. So we've seen that we have a .at, and now we want to parse if array is a filter expression. So if it's a sequence expression, then only the very nice catch. I might not have thought of this myself. If you do look at this little code symbol, a comma b comma then an array dot filter, then only the last condition matters. People do sometimes write ridiculous code like this. I don't think they should be allowed. I think someone should ban it, but other than a lint rule, you don't always get what you want. So yeah, we get the last expression and then we recurse on the last expression. Great. Nice. I'm going to comment a praise on this because that was a good catch. I should also note in here, and elsewhere. Where was I looking? Filter, sequence, expression, phrase. Nice. Probably would have forgotten about these sequence expressions. Also, I should post a link to the issue I just filed for suggestion or factor I just filed. Thinking on line object literals. What do you think? Cool. Moving on. Looking at the filter expression, this is not a sequence, so we move on. Is it a chain expression? Then we move on. Is it a call expression? And it's not optional. Okay, so yeah, we don't want to look at the question mark dot. So this one, here we go, callee. And if we're looking, the callee is a member expression. Okie dokie. So we get this computed thing. Oh, wait, did I already see this get static value used in multiple different places? Yeah, so there's already a need to make a utility here. So actually, I'm going to go back on this. Get static value comment I posted previously. Yeah, this proposal in this PR, can you add a utility in this file? After this PR, one of us should file an issue separate from, so it doesn't even have to wait for this PR. Someone should file an issue suggesting using that kind of utility in more places. What do you think? What's the longest time I've seen a GitHub action run broken runs don't count? Oh boy, I love this question. That's so funny. Indefinitely typed, I've seen some crap. So if you look indefinitely typed under the too many owners label, you'll see you can just remove author just to see a whole bunch of them. There are a lot of them, some from me, especially when we like moved it to a formatter. So if you look at like the U, actually, you know what? Let's look at R. Types R because of all the React packages. These runs took, I don't know, hours, something like that. I don't even remember how long these took. Quite some time. 100 minutes. Okay, 100 minutes. Wait, 146 minutes? 28? 150? All right, 200 minutes. Yeah, hours. A few hours. What about you? What's the longest you've seen? In the meantime, I'm pleased looking at this. So we see if it's a .at. We see if it's an array filter. 10 minutes when he told semantic release to publish 8 months of work. That's awesome. I love it. Congrats on onboarding to semantic release. It's a great project. Every single one. I love it. One thing I'm realizing here is that there's not much type checking that I've seen so far. I might have missed it. I should go back though and check. So where was it? In my call expression, we're getting the object if it's an array add expression, but this never explicitly checks using the type checker. So where do we checker? Where do we even use the checker? Okay, so we call is arrayish. Aha. I was about to get there and I got impatient. Great. So we check to see if it looks like a .filter. So this is doing the right stuff of checking syntax before types. Okay, so this looks good to me. If it's an arrayish, then we return this object containing is bracket syntax for filter. And then filter node. So that's the actual callee.property. And here we get constraint type allocation, which takes in services and then checks. Yep. So this will make it work for like type parameter. Cool. And actually yes, +1 to the chat. Captain Kirk only used on the object filter. Awesome. Yeah, nicely done. Okay. I like you copy and pasting my exact example of what should be permitted. Oh wait, hang on. This should have a 0 in it, I think. Because this wouldn't violate the rule anyway. So let's go to that test file. This should have a 0 at the end, as the current code wouldn't violate the rule. But otherwise, +1. Love the copying of the code example from before. Yay. Cool. All right, so yeah, read-only string, regular string array, not necessarily in an array, so we $.filter. Why are we filtering this out? What's the difference here? Like, this doesn't pass TypeScript, but if we were to, let's say, check this, why wouldn't we want a .find? Got it. Yeah. That makes sense. So let me actually yarn start so I can get the playground with this running. Okay, so I think from the rule. Yeah. Okay, this does 0. I thought I saw. Yep. Great. Yeah. That's excellent. This is all looking good. I'm pleased. I'm also going to sneeze. There is. Ooh, excuse me. There is a test case. Awesome. By the way, since it's been almost an hour, I'll just note if anyone has any things to talk about, bring them up. Always happy to chat. Any questions? Let me know if any of this is unclear. All right, so I did mention a bunch of test cases a bit back. Oh yeah, you'd asked and I wanted to answer. Perhaps I should have phrased my comment. I was trying to insinuate the question. Big ants are not valid as index values. Do we want to have them as tests in the repo, regardless of whether they can be made to pass without coming across as telling me what I was asked you? No, that I appreciate it. That makes sense. Your phrasing. let's go to prefer find and open it in the playground. So let's see what happens right now with the rule when we have filter of 1n. Type 1n cannot be used as an index type. Yeah, so I think it's fine for the rule to reasonable that the rule shouldn't report a violation in those cases. So they'd probably go into the, they would go into the valid array. This is similar in concept to the existing valid test case of, where was it? Just making sure things don't report that shouldn't, even if there's a type error. Does that make sense? Seem reasonable? I think it is. This is something I want to be more clear in the future on. Actually, no, wait. So I misspoke originally. Sorry. What is 1n.toString? 1n.toString is what? Oh my freaking god. Of course. Of course it's allowed. A b.filter x. You're right. Wait, so this whole comment here is wrong. Is treated as 0 by array at. Okay, thanks. You're helping me fast forward through reviewing this PR. I appreciate it. Is treated as 0 by array at. Oh my god. If it's not a number, as number. That's just the global. Okay. Math.trunk as number. Yeah, that's reasonable. You still want it to report, but I'm sus about writing a test to enforce reports. Yeah, I can see why it'd be sus. Feel funky writing a test for a report in the presence of a type error. But that's okay. If the rule should report in that case, a type error is kind of just a coincidental thing by product. No, so we do actually have an issue for making sure that test cases are error-free. Tracks testing that type-aware rules test cases are error-free. I think this is another good example of when we want to add and intentionally allow these type errors kind of featured. Cool. Awesome, same page. And on the bright side, oh, nice. I like that you have the docs there. Yeah, cool. All right. So I feel pretty confident about the detection part of call expressions, and I'm guessing it's all pretty... we're always looking for array member access to be computed since .0 is nothing. Makes sense. If member access of 0, we get the static value of the node property. So let's take a look at this in the EST ES3 viewer. So the property is literal. Yep. And it's not optional because filter returns an array. Property is not null or undefined, and it's treated. Cool. Yeah, because fun fact, the property can be null. Is it just not parsed? What is the property? Get static value. If it's not a static value. Yep. And then an array access. Let's look at this. Wait a second. But 0n string 0n. Wait a second. Is member access of 0. So this might end up being a test case to add per the conversation we already had. So we can't merge until this conversation is resolved, but we can still review the rest of this stuff. Okay. So now we just have the fixing, or the suggestions rather, to look at. So for both of these, it's generate fix to replace filter with find, and then generate fix to remove array element access. Passed in the fixer and filter expression and other stuff. Looks good to me. So we replace filter with find. Placing text. Use a bracket syntax for filter. Great. Yeah. Saw this earlier. And then removing the array element access. Knit. Ooh, I just noticed comments. Knit. The later comment capitalizes the G. This one doesn't. Up for consolidating. Not consolidating, that's not the right word. Picking one stick. Up for switching to always the same style. E. So the generate fix to remove array element access starts deleting the dot or array brackets, gets the token that's not a dot or array bracket, and then removes from there to the whole expression being flagged. Oh, what a great parameter name. All right. Have fun in your meeting. Cool. Yeah, this all looks great. And nailed it. I was about to say the big thing that we look for in rule fixers and suggestions is comments, because those really screw things up sometimes. And this looks great. And then we have a nested sequence abomination. Cool. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to complain about. So it really is looking great. Fantastic. I've been using the word great a lot. Left a few comments, but mostly just nitpicks. Really happy about the implementation. What's the smiley, the happy smiley? There is some happier than happy smileys. Let's go with that one. I think we're just waiting. I think the only remaining blocker is the 0n big int tests. Cool. Yeah, you would have thought ESLint would be more picky about that stuff. The emoji looks awful. Thanks. Yeah, I think it looks better in the output. Yeah, as I'm using, I think I saw your PR style shit. Yeah, I don't know. Different maintenance styles. But cool. This one took a long time. This was a great review, or a great review time for me. Cool. Wait, these 0n tests are there? Did I? Oh my god. I'm sorry. You're right. The question was whether to remove them. Oh, so we're good. My bad. Thank you. They're just static variable. I think I just looked up array of 0, but not just 0. Okay. Yeah, no, this is great. Let me approve. Wait, sorry. As you pointed out in Twitch chat, the 0 ends are there. I just missed them. So I think it's just a few nitpicky comments from me left. I'll set a reminder to merge before our next release if you don't have time or interest for them. Awesome, thanks. This is great. This is really great. Yay. And I'm setting that reminder for me now. Merge, prefer 58216. Awesome. Cool beans. And this gets the one approval label. Yay. I think we're done with that one. Let me know if I missed something. Lovely. So now we just have things that are 2 weeks old instead of 3 weeks old left for me to review. And I have to go in about 20 minutes. So I might get through some of them. Probably not all of them. See if I can get through the 2 weeks ago ones. 2 weeks ago, they're 5. 4 minutes of PR. Let's go. Fix ESLint plugin. No necessary condition, etc. Okay, no comments. Let's move on. Whew, that was a big one. Now on to 2 weeks ago PRs. Starting with no unnecessary condition fix. Handle left-hand optional with exact optional. Oh God, I already know just by the fact that it references this compiler option, it's going to be a bit of a doozy. But okay. Let me just move this out. So we have an object that has the type prop, may or may not be a tuple with a number. And then with exact optional property types, the left-hand side. Okay, so when you're using question mark, so nullish coalescing is the term. We're giving you an inappropriate error message, even though the prop might not exist. So like if you were to change it to or undefined, you wouldn't get the complaints. But if it's optional, then it's complaining. Yeah, okay. Ooh, a few related issues. Ugh. Oh boy. All right, so we actually filed a bug, or Brad, filed a bug, because it doesn't include undefined in the type for assignment operators like question mark equals. Isn't that lovely? Ryan says same as the other one, working as intended. All right. So this was marked as completed. So, okay, so there was an actual TypeScript fix here. Thanks, Enterist. Mateusz is a freaking superhero. So, okay, so they actually fixed it. So now object.prop is, in fact, an optional number, I guess. Cool. So this was fixed in TypeScript to have a different type for read and write. And now it is unblocked. A lot of people complaining unactionably. So it was not fixed with 5.3. So now we have userland or ourland fix for it. Okay. Exact optional property. Okay, so let's take a look at the rule itself. GHPR checkout 8249 get pull yarn starts. Actually going to close my debugger terminal that was running yarn start. Let's see what's happening here. 163. So if we're in exact optional property types mode, then what's happening here? If we're in exact property types mode and the node type is a member expression and it's a member expression with an exact optional property, what a convoluted chain of events. Oops. Then to figure out how to, well, that's this is going to be a blocker, which we don't generally merge with to-do comments. So we're checking if it's a member expression with an exact optional property. So we check the computed keys. Oh, fun fact, we actually have a cute little utility here. Services dot get type at location means you can skip some of that hullabaloo. So refactor, we have a utility for this now. Sparkles. Okay, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, so we're gonna, I think we're going to need to, yeah, this is going, yeah, we'll have to do something here to make this PR mergeable. Have you tried get static value? That's kind of the standard utility we've been going with for really complex cases. It's where folks are doing funky stuff like 1 times 1 plus other, then it's fine to not handle them. Yeah. All right. So so we actually have to have TS configs on disk right now in our test setup, which we don't love, but we haven't moved to a virtual system yet for the files. So now we have a new TS config with exact optional property types, which I guess is now used in options with exact optional property types. There you go. And that's used in this test case. New. Great. So this is a couple of new valids and this is a couple of new invalids. Great. Oh, shoot. Hey, Alien. I was supposed to add an Alien. I don't even remember. How do you do that in the Twitch Stream Manager? Thanks for settings. Literally, I don't know how to do this. I'm disappointed in myself. If someone can send me a guide just so I don't have to Google it to remind me, I'll do it. I promise. But yeah, no, this looks great. It's just functionality and test look good to me. Thanks. Just requesting changes on handling computed values. We know if the prompt I gave isn't enough info to go off of requested changes. Okay. All right. So let me just add the right label. Okay. All right. So customizing rewards, they don't support dark mode, do they? Lovely. All right. Customized by heading to your dashboard, clicking the hamburger. Where's my hamburger? There it is. Nope. Proceeding going to channel points under the viewer rewards. Oh, that makes sense. Enable channel points, custom points display, manage rewards and challenges. Okay. How do I change this? Oh, chat. I could change the name of channel points. Points name. What? Oh, okay. Channel points display, manage rewards and challenges. What should we call our channel points? Squigglies, yes. What a great idea. I don't have icons. Might go to that eventually. So manage rewards. Okay. Custom rewards. Create a custom reward. Alien special squigglies. What was it going to be? Like 9,001 or some ridiculous number? Alien, what's your favorite color here? You have a bunch. Ooh. FFCC00 is a nice gold. What? How did it? Okay. What does it do, though? Custom reward redemption alerts. All right. Don't really want alerts. Squigglies are red. Not all squigglies are red. Also, squigglies are red. Info tips are blue. But it is a good point. Let's go with blue. Like a nice pale blue. Like a fun info or note squiggly. There you go. That's a nice color. All right. We can customize more later. My pleasure, Captain Kirk. All right. There you go. Happy to have you here, Alien. Let's move on to another PR. I've got 10 minutes to get through 4. Mathematically, I am not keeping up with what I wanted. But okay. A lot from some repeat names. This makes me happy. Switch exhaustive check. Better support for intersections, infinite types, non-union values. Let's take a look. Probably one last PR for today. Another fix, this time for, what is it again? Switch exhaustiveness. You gave the emote sunglasses. Very nice. I'm pleased about that. As I stream in the dark with the blinds closed. Because I'm cool. All right. What's the backing issue? Switch exhaustive check. Invalid fix for union with infinite types. Is that the backing issue? Oh, there are 2 of them. So 8238 and 6682. So what are these 2 issues we're looking at? 6682, invalid fix for union with infinite types. A or B or number. The no error, no suggestion fixture or suggestion at all. The rule shouldn't complain, but in fact the rule does complain. Case number. Wrong. That's a clear bug. All right. Next one, required default for non-union false positive and type with 1 value. So similar related issue. If the type only has the 1 value, we really shouldn't complain. Nice. So the rule fixes in a way that then complains. All right. So yeah, these issues are pretty directly bugs. Ooh, look at this. Lot of extra code lines, but in this file, I wish there was like an indication that came up immediately of what the actual line changes are. Come on, Git. Let's see. Deleted, added, doesn't actually say. Aha, here we go. 60 additions and 64 deletions. So this actually makes the rule simpler. That's nice. Clear yarn start. Okay. So instead of having the existing explicit checks for unions, we're now looking at missing literal branch types. So switch exhaustiveness check. For each union part of the union type parts, for each intersection part of the intersection type parts. Feels like we could get like a shared utility for this. See if anyone else does things here. Okay. Well, for each... So we're looking at for each of the constituents, really, that's what we'd call them. Have you ever thought of having an off-topic channel in ts-api-utils Discord? No, I haven't. I don't particularly like Discord for open source project. Should we do that? I don't know. It's a good question. We only set the Discord up because we needed a place to tell people things and then to have a good place for people to ask questions, because they were asking questions elsewhere and it just doesn't handled. It's not really something any of us particularly want to manage. And then like other open source projects have like more thriving communities like Astro, which puts a lot of effort into theirs and the effort pays off. I guess we could try to have a community. But like I personally basically never look at off topic or random channels. I basically always immediately mute them because I don't give a crap. I don't know if that's a good reaction. That's just how I am. So, I don't know. Haven't really thought about it. It's an interesting question. Drink some water. Would you be active in our off-topic channel if we had one? But it's also just me, right? Like, I'm not the entirety of the project. Not even the entirety of the maintenance team. So, my opinion shouldn't be outsized and waiting. But yeah, this feels like, do we have type parts? Yeah, this feels like a... refactor. This, unactionable. This feels like something we'd want a shared utility for. Like ts-utils.type parts. Did we have an issue for this in ts-utils? I feel like we had an issue. Type. Here we go. And filed an issue for this back in August. So there was a link and nice. Okay, so this is the second time I've thought of something like this. So I'm thinking definitely we'll want to add that in. So you know what? I'll do that in this stream. I'll finish reviewing this PR and then I'll send this feature over to ts-api-utils. Cool. So I'll also just be not requesting changes here. I'll go ahead and send that PR to ts-api-utils and follow up in this repo. Cool. All right, so what's actually happening here is we are looking at the missing literal branch types. So all the literals that might exist in the existing discriminant type. Ooh, excuse me. And we're looking at the missing literal branch types. So interesting, missing literal branch types is a type array. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. I'm hiccuping. So what if we have duplicates? Let's open that playground and switch exhaustiveness check. There we go. Let's try this out. Open playground, constant value, declare constant value, a or A or B or B. What happens here if we have a case A, not a case B? Switch on value. Case is not matched B. This is my localhost, and if I quick fix, break, whatever. All right, so it works well. And what happens if I have like a bunch of C's strewn in and out here? So C's everywhere. Let's fix. Nice. Yeah, it works. I like Discord for chatting with friends, but for like things in public, like off-topic channels, to me, it's just I get lost in the noise. Like the anonymity gets to me. I don't know. All right. So this looks good. And if it passes all the existing tests, then I'm happy. Lot of new tests added here. So let's look at them and see what's actually being added. So these are valid cases. There are no errors. So we have a single literal, null, undefined, null or undefined literal with a brand. Nice. Literal with a brand. Or one. That's good. Some more literal handling, different types of literals, intersection types. I'm just scrolling through. I mean, this is clearly a really thoroughly done PR, and I'm happy about it. So yeah, missing with a literal, missing with a branded literal, yep. And this is adding more possible cases. Default throw new error, default case. Cool. Yeah. We got type of, awesome. Value objects, some enum, great. And still complains with the union intersection. This was handled before. Awesome. What a lovely, thoroughly tested PR. Thanks for sending this in. Yay! And merge. Awesome. So I'm done with PRs. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm just going to real quick send that feature type parts thingy. And can't resist adding in a feature mentioned in that last PR to ts-api-utils. What's everyone else up to today? Getting into the middle of the week. Code ts-api-utils. It's been a while since I worked on this repo. I haven't really needed to touch it much. You're leaving for Poland? You're packing now? Oh boy, that's exciting. What type of packer? Do I remember right that you're a light packer? What's your strategy? Offered is great. +1 to them. Intersection. All right, so we got this function here. Oh, haha. You can tell that the comments was copy and pasted from union type parts. Get the intersection or an intersection or union the type parts of the given. If the type, so this is a shallow. Note that this is a shallow collection. It doesn't recurse. only returns type.types. Or type. Yeah, gotta have stuff to where. That's important. So is intersection type or is union type. There we go. That was it. I think that's it. We don't have existing unit tests, so life is good. Git checkout b intersection or type parts. Git add all. Feed add type parts function. So in this issue, I also noted, well, maybe I want to have like a recursive option. I don't think that's necessary. We can always add in that later to this or to like a new API or something. So fixes 258, adds in a shallow function. It's roughly equivalent to intersection type parts, to the existing intersection type parts, and union type parts functions. Doesn't add in a recursive Boolean or anything like that. And sent. Cool. And I believe the last person I worked with on this repo was Rebecca Stevens, so requesting PR review. All right, well, I'm feeling good. I'm also pretty hungry right now, so I'm going to go eat something. But this was a pleasure. Thanks, y'all, for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to have to find someone to raid. I actually see one person who just has the one, so we're gonna raid Codex. But thanks, y'all. This was awesome. Let me know if there's anything you ever want to chat about. I'm not gonna be able to stay for Codex here, but tell him I said hello. Thank you. This was fun. Bye, y'all.